website is very helpful. They've got the Visa Wizard, which you can use as a starting point to find out whether firstly you need a visa, and then therefore what kind of visa is suitable for what you intend doing in France. As part of this, once you've concluded the Visa Wizard, or you can go directly to it, it will allow you to do your online application. This application then guides you through the information you need to include, and once you've filled in all of that information, you can then save your application and confirm that you would like it created. You then get given a reference number, and this reference number is very important because you will then need to create a login for your local consulate office that represents the French government in your home country, so that you can make an appointment to drop off all your documentation and attend your interview. Of the common failings to do with visa applications, it's often a lack of supporting documentation or incomplete documentation. Examples include where people haven't taken out sufficient healthcare cover, whether that be the level of cover. So to note, for example, that travel insurance is not acceptable. As well as not having cover in place for long enough. So if you've applied for a year's visitor visa and you only intend staying 6 months in France, you can't just take out the policy for 6 months if you've applied for a year's visa. So again, the government site where you create your visa application is very helpful, and you can create a group of applications under one login. So it will then ask you, once you've, for example, created your own visa application, if you want to add further individuals to that group. So for children, you'll have your visitor visa for a minor. Further down the line, once your year's visa for the child has come to an end, they do not issue carte de séjour, titre de séjour, for minors. So you can apply for the child to have something called a DCEM, a Documentation Circulation Étrangère Mineure. This will show that the child has a right to reside in France. So once you've created your application, and you will then go to the next stage of creating the login to book your interview and where you drop off your documents, it will vary dependent on a number of factors. It will depend on where you are and where your nearest visa office is and how busy they are. It will also potentially depend on the time of year and how many applications they're processing. In some cases, you can get an appointment within a week. In other cases, it can take a month or more. There's a certain amount of information that will need to be provided in French. Often your core documents, such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, should be translated. It's noted that having a translator undertake this is acceptable for the visa process stage. You don't necessarily need what they call a court-appointed translator for the visa process. However, please note, once you're in France, there's certain documentation, such as birth certificates and marriage certificates, when you submit them for official purposes, will need to be translated by a court-approved translator in France. So in terms of making sure it's right, obviously the most important thing is when you attend your interview, you have got all of the documentation that they require for the particular type of visa that you've applied for. Having a checklist and making sure you've included all of the documentation for the particular visa type that you've applied for, and that you've also got suitable copies of that documentation. So for example, where you are taking originals with you, make sure you've taken a copy, because they will not keep the original of your birth certificate, for example. If you'd like a copy of our checklist, it's in the comments for you to use. I often find with my clients that even if they have prepared the documentation themselves and run through the checklist, they will ask me to cast my eye over it just to make sure that they have included everything they should have done and there's no ambiguity in any of the information that they're submitting. Or occasionally, if people have gone ahead and submitted their application and then it's been rejected and no reason has been provided for that rejection, they will ask me to have a look at it just to see where I think it may have gone wrong. So there's various different stages that you could be rejected at, or indeed, if you're lucky, they may ask for further information whilst they are processing your application. It will depend on the visa centre that you have applied to, whether they will do that or not. So if you have missed some information, for example, they might contact you and ask you to provide it rather than rejecting your application. However, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they may return your passport to you without a visa and advise that it has been rejected. If your application is rejected, you may or may not know why that is the case. Sometimes they may tell you, other times they may not. And that's often when clients come to myself and ask if I can have a look through what they submitted to try and identify, if they haven't been told, why their visa has been rejected. If it's rejected, you can reapply, resubmit the information, and hopefully you will either have identified why it was rejected or you will have been told, so that you can then include the correct information to ensure the application is then successful. And don't forget, if you want to have a look in the comments below, you can refer to our visa section as well as having a copy of our checklist for download.